So here's the set of Euro bumpers my friend bought over a year ago and just never opened. He got it online from the forums, and I guess now I'm gonna go ahead and open it. And this has been like encapsulated in time, so I'm excited. All right, let's do this. I don't know how to open this. Yeah, I don't know how to open this, but. I don't know why, but it kind of smells like soil. It's weird. Okay, it's not weird. It's actually because there's a bunch of soil in here. All of this dirt. Alright, let's finish opening this thing up. So I'm still pretty unsure of what I'm looking at, but I have it laid out. And I have a bunch of the bumper ends, some of the plastic pieces, rubber trim, which I believe goes on the rear bumper, some other small little metal brackets, and then of course the rear bumper, and then the front bumper came with the turn signals, so that's nice. I still need to get the brackets to fit it onto the early model US car. I also need to get some hardware, and then of course clean them up before I install them. So I'm gonna go ahead and order those and put these away for now, but this is exciting because it's definitely gonna transform the car and I can't wait. Alright, so ever since I sold the front bumper off this car and I took off the front valence to sell as well, the front's looking really ugly. So I figured about now is a good time to go ahead and install the Euro bumper and the early model valence. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started, and this Zender valence, I'm not sure if I'm going to run that yet, because my friend wants it and I might give it to him, but let's go ahead and install these two, and then we can go ahead and do the rear Euro bumper install as well. And to install the Euro bumpers, you actually need some specific brackets to fit it, which I actually bought online from a company called Classic Euro Parts, and let me go ahead and open up the box and show you exactly what it comes with. Sweet! So we got 4 brackets in total, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear. I forgot which ones for the rears, which ones are for the fronts, but we'll figure that out in a bit. But these are really nice, seem to be good quality, came with the hardware, which is nice. It looks like these just bolt on to where the stock shocks would normally bolt onto on the early models, but since Euro bumpers don't use shocks, these are there to replace it, and then this will just connect to the bumpers. So should be a straightforward install. Let's go ahead and get this started. So I'm finally tackling the rear bumper. I'm gonna replace it with the Euro bumper that I picked up. And I already took off this top trim, which you can see right here. And to do that, there's just a lot of 8mm bolts that go here behind this trunk liner. So you just have to remove all the 8mm bolts all around here. I'm gonna take off these bumper shocks. And to get off these bumper shocks, it's just a stud going through the car, so you have to take off a 13mm nut on the other side, which you access through the bottom, which I've already done. And I did the same thing on this side, except for the one on the right, you actually access that one through the battery tray area right over here. So I removed those two, and then for these side pieces, there's a hidden 10mm bolt that bolts onto that stud from inside the fender. So you do that on both sides, and then once that's all off, I think I should just be able to pull this all out together. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so when I turned the camera off, I pulled off the other shock, and I noticed that there was this 13mm bolt that one, the other sides for some reason didn't have. So the other side went out easily, and then this side still had that bolt in. So when I realized that it had one, I checked and took it off, and the thing just went right out. So it looks like the old bumper is now off. Gonna finish taking off the little trim. I guess there's also some little 8mm bolts that were hiding, so I'm gonna take those off and then grab the new bumper. So there's a bunch of these little brackets that connected the rubber trims that came off the side of the car like this. These little brackets you just need to take off before putting on the Euro bumpers, and this one went right here, and you just gotta access this little 8mm nut from the inside of the trunk, and I did that with a few of the other brackets around the rear bumper section. So what I didn't know is that these bumper brackets are supposed to be mounted vertically, because what I found is that these two do not fit these two holes. So what it's actually supposed to be is one goes through this hole, and then the other you have to drill a new hole into the chassis for. And that kind of explains why this one sticks out just a little bit more, and it's also a smaller thread or smaller bolt size. So I went ahead and already mounted it and test mounted it and figured out where I needed to drill, and I drilled in to where I needed to. And so now all I have to do is throw that under here, thread all the bolts on the insides, and then thread on the bolts for these sides so it pushes the sides in and it hugs the car perfectly. So time for a time lapse of me trying to get this thing to fit all by myself. So here's the bumper all finished up. I'll go get some beauty shots once the sun's up, but this is it. It looks pretty nice, I must say. It fits pretty well. I just need to clean up the bumper strip a bit. But one thing that I noticed is that you can see the bumper bracket right there still if you just duck under the car. But yeah, there it is. It's all good.